It's another night of Spirit Connections. How's everyone doing? And we have no audience tonight except for Lauren. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves this past week. I'm very excited tonight because we have a special guest with us. Nicole Lahousse, how are you?
Great, thank you.
I pronounced that correct?
Yes,
Okay,
you did.
I was just going over it before the show because I know that even with Cody, I'm always mispronouncing the names. So Rice is just so easy. Burke is so easy. So yes. So how are you ladies doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. Little wired tonight. I had an errand to do,
That's
so it made me.
different than any other time?
I'm always wired. I'm always. Nah. We have a new puppy in the house. So yes, we got a new puppy Saturday, and so now there's two puppies and one older dog who's still a puppy. So it's been a little hectic and crazy. And
What kind of puppy?
French bulldog.
Oh, very nice.
Yes, she's 11 weeks old. Her name is Olive May.
Oh,
So we call her Ollie May.
good luck with that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, a lot of urination. You know, it's just full of
I thought we were going to get
puppies.
away from urine too.
I know. I'm always talking about bodily functions, but I think it's great because
Yeah.
part of the segment tonight, I was just speaking with Nicole, and she was talking about not so much bodily functions, but things to do with the body. And so I can't wait to get into that with you too. I also want to let you guys know if you want to call into the studio, feel free to give us a call. The number is 781-281-8433. Again, 781-281-8433. Still excited that we have a phone line. I just hope you guys use it. Unless you want to get into the chat room, feel free. And I know Steph is manning the chat room right now. So yeah, pretty excited. So Nicole, you're the owner of Majik LLC. Should I say that, or do I just read it like that, or do I actually say owner and operator of Majik LLC?
That is correct.
Okay, and that's in North Smithfield, Rhode Island, right?
Yes.
So tell me about it.
Well, this year is going to make 5 years of Majik LLC being officially in business, and I actually rent a room in a wellness center. It's Nature's Haven Wellness Center and Spa, which is at 607 Great Road in North Smithfield, Rhode Island. And basically, in my room there, I am able to do different readings or photography, workshops, and pretty much everything that I offer.
That's how I first met you, was you did the art photography at Collective Souls. I think that was the very first time I met you, and you have so many different things that you tap into, which I think is great, because the last time we had you on, you brought your display of skulls. I don't know if you guys remember at home, but she brought this gorgeous display of skulls, which I still am looking for one for myself. But
You'll have to come down.
too.
yes, we do. Your
Yes.
citrine skull, right?
Yes.
Does
Her
this
name
one
is
have a
Gemma.
name? Yeah. Does it have a name?
Yes.
So I think they're absolutely gorgeous. And now, do you have, I know we're getting a little off topic, but just for maybe the viewers at home, do you have skulls for sale at your shop, or how do you acquire them?
They usually come in and go so quickly. So Facebook is actually a really great social networking tool, and usually they come in. I don't even have a chance for them to get up on my website or anything like that, or even at the shop, because I'm usually out and about doing things at other people's shops as well as my shop. So the most publicity they get is on Facebook. So, I mean, sometimes I put them up. It takes longer for me to put them up than for me to sell them. So they can be found
You actually just came
there.
home with a ton of them, right?
I did come
You
home
did?
from the cruise. I was actually at the 12-12-12 Crystal Skull event and Mayan event in Miami Circle in Florida. And we had the Mayans, a big Mayan ceremony at the 12-12-12 at the Circle. And then we went on a cruise to Cozumel, where we visited the Temple of Ixchel.
Oh my gosh.
So it was really intense and fascinating, and we had so much stuff that went on, the conference that happened on the ship, and so many miraculous things. And I have to say that watching the Geminid shower on the top of the ship, with my sister was probably the most wonderful experience because we're out on the water and the sky was just perfectly clear and the sound of the ocean and all the meteors that we saw. I
That's
think we lost
awesome.
count after, almost 30 of them.
Steph, I think we really need to start doing stuff. So many
I think
times
you
we
need
say,
to break
"Field
out of your
trip,
shell
field
and do
trip."
things.
I know.
You need to better time management.
I
And
feel all over the place.
So yes, Mom.
yes, and then jump out of your shell and explore and trust. Makes things easier. Nicole
what
and
I
I are
was
going on
saying.
a field trip.
I know.
Technically
tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow. I was going to say Sunday, but you get back on Sunday.
Yes.
Yep. We're
So too
I
bad
know
you
we're
weren't
gonna.
coming with us.
We're gonna. I know. Well, I already said I'd fit in the suitcase if I need be.
I think that might be illegal.
If I
after
have a lot of
9/11.
body wraps before, I'm hoping the illegal amount, not just the once a week.
You have to
but if
pay
I do
extra.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I will say I did do one of your wraps last week, and of course, I watched what I ate too, but I was down 4 pounds because I weighed
that's good.
myself before, and then I took pictures, which I'll save everybody at home the pictures. Again, getting the new puppy, I'm showing people the pictures on my phone, and then it scrolls
And then
to my
it's Tiffany.
stomach, and they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh no, don't worry, that's just my stomach. Don't worry." But yeah, it is. It is.
Yes, body wraps are amazing.
It works body wraps, yeah. So that's awesome. You guys are going. We do. I know we do kind of get off topic because
Oh, this
before
is
the show
perfectly
we're like,
fine.
okay, we're going to talk about this, this, and this, and now
I think
I'm
Nicole
like,
came prepared for
let's
just
talk
about
about-
anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's used to me. So
Okay, so-
she's been on
I
the
know
show
you
before,
guys.
so she knows how we are. But yeah, we're taking our big field trip. We'll be gone in lots of meetings and training and
Yes.
fun and sun and all that kind of stuff. So
we are sunscreen SPF 30, please.
maybe not.
Oh, I don't want to see you guys in my office. Well, I'll be in the file room anyways, but
Yeah, no, I'm bad when it comes to sunscreen, but I don't usually burn. So
I burn.
my husband, on the other
doesn't
hand,
matter.
I know.
You're going to look like this in 10 years.
What's wrong with that, Miss Daily Moisturizer?
I know. I started SPF when I was 25. But
Now she's up to SPF 30.
Yes.
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 Yes, at least. Well,
I-
especially in that sun, you should be doing 40 or above.
Okay.
So,
Nicole will
anyways,
report back that I was bad, but it's okay.
yeah, but I think, and you guys at home, we've had quite a few shows about the It Works body wraps. Definitely, it's great to get involved with. Both girls do it out of, I was going to say out of their homes. I don't know where I was going to get that. Sorry. But then both, seriously, I just made that up. But both girls are distributors for It Works Global, and that's how you can find them is It Works Global, or they have their Facebook, which
Right.
Nicole has her business Facebook, and so does Steph. She has her business Facebook as well. Stephanie Burke on Facebook, and then Majik LLC.
Right. MAJIK LLC.
It's a little twist for you.
I like it.
Yes.
I love unique.
So, well, one thing I wanted to talk about, again, we're starting to skip around, but since we started to talk about It Works, and It Works has all these new products coming out, one being the ThermoFit.
ThermoFit.
So the ThermoFit promotes, help me out,
I will leave it to the scientist.
okay.
Oh, come on.
You're the
you
guest
know
on the
just as
show.
much.
I know, but you're the guest on the show tonight, not me. So,
Well, it
I'll pop
actually increases your metabolism, your metabolic rate, because it works, it's thermogenics, which increases your heat within your body. So with that, it allows you to burn more calories than you would normally by, increasing that metabolic rate. You want
Yes.
to add something there?
Well, oh, sorry.
And it's got all kinds of fun antioxidants in it. It
Yes.
includes the acai berry and raspberry ketones. So if anybody watches Dr. Oz,
I was just going to say, Dr. Oz fans.
yes, Dr. Oz loves raspberry ketones, as do we, and they actually smell like raspberry, so they're really cool.
And he actually did the It Works ThermoFit on the show, didn't he?
Did
I
he?
don't remember
I
now.
think you did.
But is it made of 100% botanicals, just like the wraps?
Everything is.
Yes.
Everything's all natural.
Now, one of the reasons why I also wanted to bring that up, because I do want to try that. I'm a big fan of It Works, and I've tried a lot of their products, so that is another product. Going to be. I
They're all
look like the
awesome.
pill lady in my bag, but it's all good. I just put it in It Works bottles. I'm just kidding. It's all botanical.
So, as we wheel away,
Yeah.
she'll be left here sitting by herself.
But one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up, because there was something else that caught my attention, Nicole,
Yes.
and it's the Glasses Please Formostar that you have at your shop.
Yes, so this is a brand new service that we're introducing currently. It will be starting to take interest in this. Anybody who is interested can contact me either at Majik at majikllc.com. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's all right.
But this is actually a far infrared
Oh, sorry.
body
I'm not
wrap
moving it.
system.
I'm like, can you see it? Anybody? Okay, sorry.
It's a far infrared body wrap system, which also increases your metabolic rate. Far infrared frequency is extremely healing, and this penetrates through the entire body. You have on either side of the wrap, so how the wrap goes around your body, it'll go up to 2.5 feet in this way, and the one on the where it wraps around on your back will go 2.5 feet. So this will penetrate my entire body here. Same thing with you guys and pretty much everybody else, because it goes along the sides, the front, and the back. So if you figure 2.5 feet either way, that's how far it will go in. And this system creates heat within the body and increases that metabolic rate, causing you to sweat. Basically, 1 gram of sweat costs the body 0.567 or something like that kilocalories of energy. So in order to lose fat, cellulite is actually like really hard. If you've ever
I'll show
felt
you.
it,
No, I'm just kidding.
you know, it's kind of hard, and
It's like, wait, let's stop.
and that's because there's so many toxins that build up there, and the fat just becomes more globular. Well, with this system, it'll break down that fat, and it'll pull out the toxins. It also is really effective for heavy metals toxins. You guys know that I had a battle with, and continue with a little bit of a battle, with mercury toxicity. And in the beginning, I had levels of 11.16, and I went on chelation therapy, which can be kind of controversial and very, very expensive. After 2.5 months after I after I had my first test, I had another test, and I was on chelation therapy, and I went down to 10. I was very disappointed. All the money that I had spent and continued to spend on this, I was a little bit almost devastated because the levels were not going down. My cognitive thinking was all out of control. I couldn't remember anything, and I used to be very quick to remember everything. I started using this. A detox program with this is anywhere like up to 10 wraps. So I did 10 wraps, and I had myself tested again. I went from 10 to 5, which is just outside of the high end of normal range for mercury levels in the body in 3 weeks.
And I think one of the best things about it is that you lay there for 50 minutes. So it's not like you have to really work
It's
at
relaxing.
It actually
It's
is very relaxing.
and you're doing something with it. And before the show, you had mentioned that since you are an It Works distributor, you know, can we talk about that? Or can we not?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So since, sorry, I was like, oh wait, was that not supposed to be for the show? Since you're an It Works distributor, because at It Works, you can try products, and then you can also become a loyal customer. In order to become a loyal customer, you have to do an auto ship program for at least 3 months, where you pick something that you would like to try, and it automatically ships, and then you can continue. You can change up the products as you go. Correct me if I'm wrong, girls, because
This is
I
true.
don't.
No minimum.
I
no
don't
maximum.
sell.
You should sign her on as a distributor.
I'm just a runner.
I keep trying.
I know. I always say that too, because I'm like, it works it takes 72 hours to
Can you tell
process
that that's
within
all
your
I talk
body,
about to
blah,
her?
blah,
Because she
blah,
knows
blah, blah,
everything.
blah, blah. Yeah. Well, it's true though, because I
Yep.
always have so many questions. But I highly recommend becoming a loyal customer because you save so much money, especially with these wraps. You know, I can't talk about it, but if you go on their
Basically,
websites,
you get
yeah.
45% off of the retail value, which is what we spend for the
Right.
products. So you get our price.
So when you become a loyal customer, oh, sorry. Nicole is actually offering a special, which is
If you do become a loyal customer under me, I'm offering a free session with the Formostar, and you can see how that works. Basically, if you couple a 50-minute session with the Formostar wrap, you can burn between 900 and 1,400 calories. Basically, in order to lose 1 pound of fat, you would have to burn 3,500 calories. So you can do this as quickly as every other day. So you can go through this really quickly, which is how I got through the mercury detox so quickly. In 3 weeks, I did every other day. But if you do this, this will increase your metabolism, start breaking down that cellulite and fat. If you couple this up with the It Works products that we have that also increase the thermogenics, I've noticed that when I take the ThermoFit and I was doing these wraps, I could actually feel the ThermoFit heating up from the inside, and I could feel it working in my body all night long even.
so
Or
the
all day
effects are
long.
astounding. Pretty much.
Absolutely. And you definitely see, remember I was talking about, the wings?
Yes, the wings.
There are no wings because of these wraps, they actually go over here too. So I was coupling that with the defining gel as well. And I have no, you can actually feel it.
Oh.
Usually,
Look
if
at
you go like
you.
this, it wiggles. There's no wiggling.
I need to get down and go Smithfield
I'm telling
Island.
you. I was just telling her
So-
the other day, she makes everything look good. Like, I don't know what it is. I told her she might be an alien or something because I try hard and she just makes everything look so
Waiting
easy
for my
and so
alien
good.
powers to kick in.
Yeah.
Well, there's just some people.
For everybody
like
that doesn't know, Nicole's a scientist by day. She has 4 children at home. I don't know how or where they came from because she looks so good.
I know. I was just saying, like, do I look frumpy? Is this? Do I look?
But she
Like
does
I'm
like
just
the
wearing skin?
impossible,
Yeah.
and I love it because you make it look so easy, and you look so
It's
good.
a lot
while
of
doing it.
drive.
Yeah, but it's I love this. I think it's so interesting. I have about 1,000 questions that I'll save for afterwards. But
One thing I do want to mention as far as the Formostar is my husband has lupus, and he has Raynaud's, where you get the, in the cold.
yeah.
Yeah, and it turns like
Blue.
really blue-purple. It hurts me to look at his hands when they're like that. When he started using the Formostar, it seemed like almost immediately within a few sessions, he wasn't getting that. He would go outside and he started coming in. His hands have been warm instead of
I'd love
ice
to.
cold, and his circulation has drastically improved. So
I have one
That's
blue
awesome.
foot.
really, this would help you.
Yeah, on my left side.
you should probably go get that checked out.
No, well, I have from a chiropractor, but yeah, it might be an old field hockey injury. I don't know,
I'd probably go to a doctor.
but
Just
I
just,
might know
you
a couple.
It
I
might
don't know.
be a few things.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah. I think
But
you're
it's always-
thinking what
it's
I'm
so
thinking
cold.
it right now, and like that's dangerous. You need to go to a doctor.
Well, no, I mean, I'll like if it just sits there like stagnant.
you need to go to a doctor. Anyways,
Anyway,
that's all she's gonna hear about afterwards.
just not attractive in sandals. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
All right, so if you guys have a question for Nicole, definitely call us at 781-281-8433. Get your questions into the chat room. We have Nicole Lahousse on, owner of Majik LLC out of North Smithfield, Rhode Island. I feel like I'm getting stuffy now.
Stop that.
Oh, stop.
You sounded like you were getting ready
I'm
for a commercial
transferring
break.
it.
You almost tricked me into thinking we had a commercial break. The way that you
We'll
were
come
saying
back after these messages. No, I wish. I wish. And then Warren comes out and starts
gonna say,
advertising
you'll
with
get up and
WCTV.
dancing.
Yeah.
that.
But But Nicole is also on, sorry, we started backwards here.
That's okay.
But Nicole, I asked Nicole to come on because she has a couple workshops coming up. One of them being your pineal activation workshop.
This is true. This is a big
And
hit.
what is that?
What is that?
What is it?
So your pineal gland is in your head. It's pretty much in the center of your brain. And I go over basically, where it's located, what it looks like, the biochemistry of it, just a little bit because I like the science. But I keep it very simple, just so that you can see a few things for background. The physiology behind it. I go over the symbolism of it through the ages. You see the pine cone is actually a symbol of the pineal gland, and you actually see that in the court of the pine cone at the Vatican, and on the Vatican, the Pope's staff and things like that. So I point out in different points through the ages where you would typically see that. Let's see. There are 3 different sections to this. One is the background and a little bit about the pineal gland and those types of things. But then we get into a little bit more of the meat of it, where the calcification of the pineal gland is what kind of puts us in that shutdown mode. So where some people are able to meditate very easily, access different states of consciousness. This is what we'll be learning about and how to do that. And the calcification of the pineal gland kind of ruins that. So I teach about how it gets calcified, and then how do you decalcify? How do you reverse that process? So,
Well, what are the symptoms? How would you know if you have calcification?
Calcification.
How would you know if you have calcification?
there are so many different kinds of symptoms that go along with it, but some of the easiest things is if anybody actually tries to meditate, try to sit down in a quiet state and clear your mind and not think of anything. If your mind is constantly racing and you can't sit still for more than a couple minutes, probably have a good amount of calcification. Usually by the time people are 30 years old, there is a huge amount of calcification that's already taken place, even by the time you're 18.
Can I ask you a question? Now, what about, say, if someone had, like, someone that used drugs a lot, as far as a recreation, and what I mean by drugs, like, whether it be like cocaine, marijuana, anything like that, would that have something to do with calcification in the brain as well, you think? Or are we talking a whole different subject?
Well, if you would have to kind of take a look at which drugs, because I do talk about some drugs in the workshop, and kind of like more the LSD, hallucinogenics, ayahuasca. The shamans use the ayahuasca in their religious ceremonies, and that's to actually open up and stimulate the pineal gland. So there are drugs that could work in an opposite effect, because your pineal gland is part of your endocrine system, which controls your whole body. So I get into that in the workshop, so those are a lot of the details that are really interesting to learn, and I've had a really great response with that. But there's not just the background and the biology of it, or the calcification, decalcification. I kind of go through some of the main components of, or main culprits: mercury, fluoride, GMOs, things like that, pesticides, and sugar is really, really bad, artificial sweeteners. And so I teach you what types of foods to eat that have their natural chelators, so they pull out the toxins, which the greens of It Works actually has a lot of those types of natural chelators. Let's see. The third part of the program is the actual activation, where I would teach you techniques that are very simple that you can walk away with and do. Most of them you can do anywhere, anytime, to help stimulate the pineal. And my husband took the class at Collective Souls last time when I did that there, and he basically had an amazing response that he was seeing a lot of interdimensional things and just really getting a lot of visions and a lot of activity. So
That's awesome. I have to ask.
hope I'm not giving too much information and making him nervous. But
To break it down, what is the function of the pineal gland in your body, and why would you want to activate it, and why would you want to decalcify it?
because the pineal gland is actually basically your seat of your soul. So in order to attain higher states of consciousness, your pineal gland is that gateway to that other realm. And this is basically what we're here to do, what we're here to access. If you want to know why you're here, what is your path, and those types of things, all those things that humans have always wondered throughout the ages, you know, what is the purpose of all of this? You have to access that through the higher realm. Now, why do you want to activate it? So that you can access those different realms. This isn't, the 3D world isn't really, it's full of illusions, and we want to cut through those illusions. When you're able to access the higher dimensional realms through the pineal, you can see the truth in things. And in order to activate it, your crown chakra is actually connected with the pineal as well as the third eye. So the pineal is actually the access of both the third eye and the crown. So in order for you to have visions, have those experiences that, you know, we all
Steph, did you
look
take the
for.
class?
I didn't take the class, but I'm
She's
naturally a
having
nerd.
Yep.
I'd like to point out that Nicole is like my Dr. Sheldon Cooper, if you watch The Big Bang Theory, crossed with Robert Langdon from the Da Vinci Code.
Oh my gosh.
And I love it because I'm like the little nerd that runs behind her and constantly asking her questions about how things work. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught our show last
I was
week.
just going to say, why? But why? Why?
They read into my birth chart and went through my sun sign, my moon sign, and my rising sign, and my rising sign's Gemini. So that constantly makes me ask, why? Why? And you have the smile on your face because you know exactly what they're talking about. That's just how I am, but I need to know. So naturally, I do know what the pineal gland is. It's awesome that you brought up the third eye and the crown chakra because that's pretty much what people, we call it our third eye, but it's our pineal gland.
Right.
And people don't realize that it's not some fictional, third eye on your
right,
forehead.
actual eye.
That's actually a chakra, and it's a physical part of our bodies, and people
Right.
don't realize that. I've also heard that the most common calcification, thing that causes calcification is fluoride,
Yes.
which is in your tap water.
And but that's the other thing is in the workshop I do talk about that, and I show people where else that's in. People think that it's just in town tap water. It is not. So I do get into
It's in a lot of different
of
things.
that.
Yes.
But
Yes.
this is why I love this and I love you, because you break down everything just how I need it.
Yep.
But it's
Thanks.
so amazing, and this isn't just a quick, half-hour thing. It's a 4-hour workshop.
It is a 4-hour
And you go
workshop.
When is this too?
It's a
Sorry.
full 4 hours.
When is the workshop?
I have 2 scheduled. One is at
Yay!
Stephanie's
wait.
shop, and that's going to be, let's see, January, I think.
That's
Is that January?
no,
February
February
23rd. And it's
Yep.
at my shop on February 16th, the week before. So we have one up here in Acushnet at the end of February, and then the week before it's down in my neck of the woods in Rhode Island. So, but one thing I do want to point out too with the pineal gland is it's not just the pineal gland, but it's also, the pineal gland works together with the pituitary and the thalamus. So I show the relationship with that. It's a pretty cool relationship that they have, and how the entire chakra system is
I love
governed
it.
by these glands in the brain. So,
I love it.
I have to take, because I want to take it. I
So
just can't-
come.
I can't,
yes.
because I have my gallery reading that day with
When?
Nicole Stevens on the 23rd.
What time?
It's 4 to 6.
Oh, well, you feel.
4 to 6.
4 to 6.
It's 1 to 5 both days on the 16th and on the 23rd.
Well,
when you come back.
maybe if the gallery reading doesn't go, then you can come.
Maybe. We'll see what happens.
You never know.
Yeah.
The universe could
Yeah, I was
just
just
clear
gonna
out
say,
your
we'll have to let the
schedule.
universe.
It's done it before. It clears up your schedule.
It
so that way
does.
you can
It
do
does.
that.
And then you're like, why am I home on a Saturday night? And you're like, oh,
Because I'm supposed to be.
because I need to be.
It's funny how
Absolutely.
it's like a kick in the butt from the universe.
Yep.
Well, it's funny. It's like, I don't know if you've been reading Mandy Avery's post, who's also been on here, but she works in and out of my my space in Pembroke as well. So she's go, 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 go. And the past few weeks she's been having car problems. And, and it's been like silly little car problems. And there's nothing you can do about it. But I'm like, you know what? You needed a break. That's what happens. And again, if you guys want to call us at 781-281-8433, we're here. We can take your call. You can ask Nicole a question or Stephanie and I a question, either one, whether it's about the Formostar or It Works or the Pineal activation, because not only with that workshop, you have a lot of other workshops. You have a ton of meditation workshops coming up.
We're very
you have
busy
a
this
table
quarter.
tipping session with Steph coming up.
Yay.
That's
Yes.
coming up the 31st. No,
31st,
Yes,
yes,
31st. So January 31st, for all you Rhode Islanders, I'll be in North Smithfield at Nicole's shop.
That's a Thursday.
Yep. So that's that's
time
always
is that?
fun.
6:30 to 8:30.
Oh, good. So it'd be after work. So you guys can just go
Yep.
right from work, grab some snacks.
And we always have a fun time.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And you can actually sign up for that and secure your spot because we have very limited seating
Yes,
at
we
this.
do.
It's very private session. It's not a full room of people. We have a few people around a table, and you can sign up for that on my Facebook page at facebook.com/Majik LLC, spelled MAJIK LLC. And you can go in my events, and you can there's a list of the things in there that we're holding, and table tipping is one. There's actually a link to PayPal where you can secure your seat there. So
I love how you did that this morning. It's so easy. People
It
can
is.
just sign up. I was like, oh, what a good idea.
and then I have a list.
Yes, you
So
do.
it's easy.
It's much easier than running around trying to collect money, because the
Yes.
thing that's unfortunate is because we try to keep it so that way everybody gets enough messages with table tipping, because it's so intimate. We try to do between 4 to 6 people at max. So,
Right.
so in order for people to actually save their seat,
Right.
pay ahead of time. But it's so worth it. I love it. I fell in love with it, I think 5 years ago. I've been
I
doing it
love
ever
the
since.
reactions of everybody that comes in
I know.
and does this for the first time, because you
Yes.
have everybody,
My first time was
Yeah.
with Steph too, and I was like, "All right, Steph." What? And she took one hand off the table, and I took one hand, and it's going on its own. And
Loved it, loved it. When you have people that have the like energy, the same energy, and same focus, same passion, it works so much better, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it. I love
that
doing
thing
it.
flies.
Yes, it does. Nicole and I always have fun when we do it. We're like, okay, ready? Everybody's gone, go.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So
So we have that coming up.
we have that coming up, and then after that, we have an abundance meditation and attunement. That's on February 7th, from 7 to 8 p.m. at my shop. So basically, I take you through patterns and teach about the patterns of how we speak, because everything that you're attracting in your life has to do with how you're speaking, how you're feeling in different situations. So these patterns cause this ripple and start attracting to you what it is that is emanating from you. So I teach you how to change those patterns, because it's based on how you feel, how you process, and what it is that you're focusing on. So I show you different scenarios and of how people would normally react in certain situations, or whatever thoughts, and even their speech. And when you change it very slightly, the whole vibration, the whole frequency of it changes. So it's that change in the frequency where you're actually attuning yourself, and a change in a frequency in your life, which then causes major ripples to start, the ebb and flow to come back to you in such a positive way instead of the negative way. And a lot of people, it's such a simple thing, but people can't get a grasp on it. And I have so many people that have sat there and said, you know, I never thought of it like that. I always thought that I was saying something positive. And it's just very easy to twist a few words and make it mean something else. And I show that to you because you will experience that in your being so that you can understand what is meant by that. It's not just to tell you, use these words instead of these words. You actually feel the frequency within you. So
This might be a little off topic, or this, I'm trying to make it combined, but I don't know. But there was
comes
this
a tough
Tiffany,
question.
there was a question going around, and one of the questions was, okay, you find $1. Are you like, oh, I know this one?
No.
Okay. I was like, oh, okay, good. This is great. You find $1 on a sidewalk. Nobody's around you, or we'll say $20 bill. Make it go big. Go big or go home, right?
well, then why not make it 100?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, so you find a $100 bill. Okay. Now, there's nobody around. Do you pick it up and carry on your merry way? Or do you pick it up and see if it belongs to anybody?
Are you asking us personally?
Well, I mean,
Where
I
did
guess
you find
I can.
it? Did you find it right next to somebody's foot?
No, you found it in a park and there was nobody around. And this question is to distinguish whether you're optimistic or pessimistic. So you can answer it if you want.
Well, Nicole's like, now that I'm on the judging table, I don't know
Right?
if I like this.
Well, I guess it could go either way. I mean, what do you do? What are you worth?
Well, to be optimistic, believe it or not, is to pick up the dollar bill and be on your
walk
merry
away.
way. Which I always thought it would be the other way around.
Yeah.
Like, no, you have to, like,
But
pick
what's
it
the
up.
reasoning
And
behind it?
the reason being is
I
because
can tell you.
what?
I said I can tell
Of course you can, because you already know what I'm thinking.
Well, no, the reason
That's
behind it
actually
is
part of
because
the-
it's pretty much like this is meant for you. This is the universe's way of, hey, here you go.
Right.
It's-
If you
it's
find it and
planted,
it's next
you
to
know.
somebody, then you would
Right,
say,
like,
hey, did you lose any money and what did it look like?
exactly.
But
But if
if
you're
it's
in-
just, rolling around like a tumbleweed somewhere, then you would want to pick it up because it is the universe's way of saying, hey, here's a free gift.
Right.
So if you actually go and try to find somebody else to give it to, you're saying that I'm not worthy.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
So when that question was asked to me, at first I was thinking like, well, I should do the right thing, right? Like that should probably be
Well,
the right
we're all
answer,
taught
right?
The social norm is the right thing is to look for someone. The way that I would do. I mean, if there's nobody around and the place is completely empty, it's almost
yeah.
near
Right.
to impossible to find someone. So that's kind of almost like a trick question, anyways. But if you're full of people, if I walked into a place and I lost a $100 bill, I would hope that somebody would return it to me.
Right.
Because that can
That's
be.
why I write my name and social security number on all of my things.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
I'm just kidding. I don't.
Actually, like funny story.
You're like, oh my gosh,
Like,
is
oh
she
my God.
serious?
You probably would be.
There are about 1 billion Tiffany Rices out there now.
Yeah. I know.
Check your credit.
Years ago, yeah, really. Years ago, my brother was little. He whipped a $100 bill out of my mother's purse and threw it into a wishing well at a store that we didn't live close by.
Nice.
Now, at that point, if you're walking by a wishing well and you see a $100 bill in there, are you going to take it and go on your merry way, or are you going to return it to the owner? That's how I look at it. Somebody actually did turn it to the store, and my mom called and they returned it to her.
Wow.
But
That's nice.
to me,
Right.
like, it's a different scenario, it's a different story. If you're walking around in a
Right.
park and it's empty, there's crickets, and you find money, I would still probably try to figure out who lost it or hold on to it.
But
at
why?
least.
Why is this here? But why?
No, not
I'm
that,
kidding.
but why, never mind. At least I don't write my social security number on all my money. I mean, I'm more intelligent than that.
Oh my! Imagine if I did, I'd be here all day with all the money.
But
I
you
have.
are, that's how you operate. That's what you do. Tiffany Jan Rice.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You guys.
I know. I can't help it. I'm
No.
like that yellow lab puppy, and then you.
It usually changes. Sometimes she's a panda bear, other times she's a German Shepherd. Today she's a yellow lab.
Yes.
When are you going to be the bulldog?
Oh, I actually jump over that and become Pitbull.
Oh, okay. I like to see that.
Yes,
It's comical.
it is comical.
I like the comments from the peanut gallery behind me.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, I have Nicole Lahousse from Majik LLC out of North Smithfield, Rhode Island. If you guys want to give us a
Rolls
call,
off
the
her
number is
tongue now.
781-281-8433. Or get your questions into the chat room. How's the chat room looking tonight?
Pretty good.
I can't see that far.
I know. That's why you don't run the chat room.
I know.
Because otherwise, you would be analyzing.
Well, who is that?
Yeah, well, what do they
What is
want?
that
Why do
number?
they have
Yeah.
a strange screen name?
Yeah.
Yes. I want to know about the twin flames. I have been fascinated since I met you about how this whole thing works.
Okay.
Now, is that a meditation?
I do a meditation and attunement with
Okay.
the twin flame energies, and this one is actually a little bit more complex because there's two souls involved here, and basically you want to go in 3 separate stages. That's how I do the meditation and attunement. So basically, I have March 7th, 21st, and April 4th. I'm doing the twin flame meditation and attunement. The first step is feeling your own frequency, clearing and cleansing your own blockages and opening up to that realm. And once you come in tune with your own frequency, you can then become in tune with your twin flame frequency. So the second part is actually tuning into that twin flame frequency. I'm just giving a quick overview on this. Once you learn about the twin flame frequency and be able to feel that within your own field and draw that in, then you can incorporate feeling out the differences between yours and your twin flames, which they're in resonance with each other, but I kind of go through a little bit of details with how they ebb and flow with each other and how they interact with each other with the frequencies, because there's a couple ways that can happen. But how you identify your twin flame, if you meet that person in the physical realm, you'll be able to notice it right away, because you'll be so in tune with their frequency that if they're in the same room, you'll feel it, you'll be drawn to each other. The twin flame phenomena is really very interesting in the fact that it's kind of like a mirror image of yourself. So even though you don't have the exact same frequency, it's a mirror. It's like a mirrored frequency. So the interaction there is very balancing. You might feel that you're 100% complete. People walk around all the time thinking that their life is incomplete because there's something there that's missing. If you take a look at the metaphysical side of things, where soul splitting, that's where you get that first soul split is the twin flame souls. So finding your twin flame is actually very rare. You'll encounter a lot of people that you have an extreme resonance with in your life, and those are pretty much like the soul family. People that you meet that you feel like you've known forever. The same thing will happen with a twin flame, but it's a different level. It's a completely different level than just meeting somebody and saying, oh my gosh, I feel like I've known you in a past life or something. And you're good friends, and that's that. And I kind of go through with the twin flame. People have certain thoughts or perceptions about it where they think it has to be male and female, and that's not necessarily the case. So
That's what I was going to ask is, could it be female?
yes.
So this necessarily isn't like looking for your soulmate that you're going to fall in love with. This is something much different.
It can be.
It can be, but it could be.
If it does happen that you meet your twin flame, male and female, or even if it's male and female as far as partners go, the experience would be extremely heightened. You could meet a twin flame and you would just have this, connection that's
It's
beyond
fascinating.
anything. And as much as you think that you could, the most that you could ever love, and then exponentially multiply that, you can't fathom it. But that's pretty much the concept. There's
Pretty
a lot more
deep.
to it, but
I know, I'm like pretty deep.
trying to stay as general
I
as
have that like
possible.
lazy eye look. Like,
It's interesting.
it is.
I've always
Yeah.
wondered, because I remember, I think you were teaching it years ago at Collective
At
Souls.
Collective Souls, yes.
And I remember I had just met you. I'm like, I really want to do this. But every time you had one, I had like school or I was busy and I was like, oh, I can't do it. And then I thought to myself, like, oh, well, I already met Brendan, so it doesn't matter. But, you know, reading more into it and seeing the things that you post about it and information, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm married to the wrong person. So don't anybody get
No,
that.
absolutely
that
not.
type
You can
of-
actually bring in the frequencies, you know, and it doesn't mean that, you know, if you were to attend that you would be saying, see you, Brendan.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. Some people,
See you, Brendan, I'm looking
might be like,
for-
oh, I
They
don't
might
want to
think,
go.
oh, it's because it's significant other.
It's
but
so
it's
much.
not.
No, it's not.
Right.
It could be, but it's not. It's
But
amazing.
you're bringing in a frequency into your life that's a balancing.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually encourage couples to come because you'd be working on bringing in your twin flame frequencies, and you can actually bring things through each other that make it a special bond. That even though if the other person isn't exactly your twin flame, you can bring through certain frequencies that allow you guys to do a certain amount of bonding, and also feeling your twin flame frequency, because again, I said it's extremely rare that it happens on this lifetime with people, but a lot of times we see the twin flame is off in another dimension. So you're actually bringing that frequency into your life to get that balancing. With the intensification of the energies that's been happening lately, we have been seeing a lot more twin flame unifications in the 3D. So that's really quite fascinating, I think. And
It all is.
It really is.
I
It's
love
pretty
everything. I wish I could just dedicate my whole life to learning.
I was just going to say, I wish
more.
we could do like a retreat.
That would be like months long, because you can't learn all
know.
of that in 2 days.
No.
Which is sad, because I
You'd
wish
go
I
on
could.
overload.
That's what we need to do, is set up a retreat somewhere.
That's my dream.
So anybody that has a connection that can get us into a place, we'll set it up. We'll bring the people. We have the people lined up. We just need a place to hold it and stay.
Hold it and stay. You'd have to continuously do it. But
Like a 2-night stay.
I'm not even, like, I'm not interested in teaching other people. Like, I want to be the one to sit there and learn.
Right.
And it's funny, because I talk to Nicole, I think, almost every day, multiple times a day. But it's not things that we discuss. But I just want to sit there and, like, teach me. The little puppy dog, just teach. Let me know everything.
Because there's so many facets to it, you know?
There
It is. I love it
absolutely
all.
love it. That's why I love having all different types of people on here, because we get to meet so many people. And
You validate my nerdiness.
I like your nerdiness.
Thank you.
I'm a nerd.
I love being a nerd.
Oh, one other thing about the twin flame is you're familiar with tuning forks, right?
yep.
So you know how if you take two of the same frequency tuning fork and you bang one, start it up on one side of the room, and then you put the other one on the other side of the room without activating it, that will be activated by the other tuning fork vibrating. So the other one will start singing as well. That's how the twin flame frequency is. So that's what I mean by, you know, if somebody is in your vicinity, you'll know, because it's just, there's this frequency that just gets activated. It's almost like, you know, you just feel this, all right, what is that?
So have you met your twin flame?
Have I met my twin flame? That is a fantastic question.
I figured.
I do know my twin flame frequency. I've dreamt about this frequency in past life form before, and I talk a little bit about that in the workshop, but it's pretty interesting. And
I can only imagine what it's like to feel that sense of connection with somebody, you know. So if you guys are looking for the Twin Flame class, it starts March 7th.
Yes.
And it's a 4-part series?
3 parts.
3-part? Okay.
So it would be March 7th, 21st, and April 4th.
So Thursday nights.
Yes.
Everything's on a Thursday.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So easy. Well, my stuff with her too is on Thursday, but yeah, I love that. I think you should come up with more ideas so that way I can learn more.
I actually had a request for an inner earth meditation, so I'm working on that,
Interesting.
and I'm also working on a chakra and aura workshop, so that'll be pretty intense too.
Yes.
Now, is your shop by appointment only, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now, yes, because I have to be a scientist by day,
Yes.
and I have 4 kids, so I have to schedule everything. You know, all these It Works parties that are coming up.
Yes.
I don't even know how you do it. I don't, like.
That's why I said alien.
I always
There's
think
no
that
other
I'm so
explanation.
busy, but then also when you throw 4 kids, I'm like, what? Like, I can't even fathom children. You know what I mean?
Neither can
Like,
I
can't-
sometimes.
Well, no. Oh, no. I mean, that sounded bad.
Yes.
I just meant, like,
Yes, it did.
I didn't mean
I
it
knew
like
what you
that.
meant.
I meant it
Just
like,
messing with you,
okay.
because I like
We
you.
have to. I'm sorry.
I mean, I
You
just,
left it
I have
open.
3 dogs now, and I think I'm
Same thing.
in the loony bin.
Yeah.
And that's like
She's got a dog
that's like
too.
having kids in diapers.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
And then I have this middle child that needs to be in alternative school,
Oh my God.
defacing property left and right
Oh.
with the urination.
There we go again.
Yep.
Looping it back.
Yep. That's how things go.
But anyways,
So,
so any last minute questions, guys, feel free to give us a call at 781-281-8433 or get that question into the chat room. Definitely.
I'm surprised there aren't any questions so far.
I know.
Usually.
I think I've asked a fair share.
Yeah.
I know. Well, we have all the questions.
Yeah.
We
I know.
definitely have
I
all
do.
the
I
questions.
always have
Bombarded by you
questions.
guys instead of
I know.
the audience
I know.
out there.
But they were pretty good questions.
Yes, they were.
I can't
I mean,
wait.
the good thing, too, is that I always, after all the shows, I always get people that'll say, well, did you post it Wednesday? Because I like to watch it, because
Yeah,
usually they
people
have
watch
something.
it at work.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's
like,
a huge one.
Exactly. I like to watch it with my coffee in the morning, and so when I get it out there, the earlier the better. But unfortunately, the thing with that is that people, you know, since they're not watching it live, they can't call and ask questions. So hopefully by getting your information out there, people will email or,
Yes.
you know,
Right.
contact you through Facebook at least and ask the questions.
Right. Yes,
You
feel
know.
free to contact me through Facebook.
I do get that
It's the
too.
easiest.
I was going to ask a question, but I didn't. Okay,
email.
then you'll never know the answer because I don't know your answer. So
Typical Tiff.
Yeah.
For everyone out there not in Rhode Island as well, Nicole will be at my office March 2nd from, what did we
Yes.
say, 12 to 4?
12 to 4.
For aura photography sessions. So anybody that wants the aura picture taken along with your, I'd say mini reading, even though sometimes it's not mini, to go along with your picture. So definitely try to sign up for that as well, because that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
That's always fun.
Yes.
I love doing aura photos. and
I
readings.
haven't gotten mine done.
Because you
Think you need
keep
to come
blowing us
visit.
off.
I'm always behind you when you
Jeez.
get in. Like, I always watch from a distance, and I know what it's like. I know that they've had people at Uplifting Connect. Were you ever at Uplifting Connections or no?
No.
Okay, so they've had people at Uplifting Connections and Collect a Soul, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went, I think we were at the American Legion together.
Yes.
April 2011.
Yes.
I don't know why I remember things like that. I do not have calcification on my pineal gland.
No, not at all.
You'd be surprised.
I know. I probably have a
Yours
ton.
is twisted and upside down.
I know. It is. It's misplaced, unfortunately. I work backwards.
Yes. Like, I think Matt should patent that. When he did the loop-de-loop, that's your thought process. It was
Yep.
perfect.
Not when he's He's like, it's funny with you, Tiff. It's not just like information and then out. It's information and then do, 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 do.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Cindy. Oh, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah,
Squirrel.
blah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. It's so true.
So it's hard for me to actually say a full-on sentence.
So yes, you need to come to the workshop, and you also need to get your picture taken. So you need to mark those down.
Well, March 2nd, I don't think I have. Maybe at night. Ooh, I might.
See, there's that thought process in work,
12
folks.
to 4. 12 to 4.
12
You can
to
fit
4.
somewhere in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to
Maybe
schedule an
you can do it,
appointment.
Tiff. You can do
I
it.
need it. I really want to get the Formostar.
Mm-hmm.
I have to MapQuest how far away you are to my house.
We'll talk about it after.
Can't be that bad.
We'll do it after.
Otherwise, you'll be calculating it right here for the last
I
5
know,
minutes of the
I
show.
know.
Like, so. Since we only have about 4 minutes left.
I know. Well, let me ask you this. I always say that, and then when I hear myself say it, I get frustrated. Why do I always say that? Just like when I open up the show with "Good evening," I wish there was something else. So if you guys have
So
suggestions,
that off-topic stuff we were talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to
What's
say
your
"Hey,
question?
hey, hey," because then that reminds me of Fat Albert. So I want it like,
What's
"Hi,
your question, Tiff?
hi, hello, hey there." You know, I just don't
You
know.
just used them all up now.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Now you're gonna have to come up with
Now
something
you have
new.
to ask
Maybe
a
a different
question.
language.
I know. Hola.
It's the only one you know.
Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom, Lahia. I totally messed that one up.
What's your question before we run out of time? You don't remember, do you?
My question is at the time of the aura photography, will there be body wraps or It Works products that if someone wanted to discuss with one of you, would that be available?
Why not?
I don't see why not.
Okay. Just letting you
She's
guys
got all
know.
her stuff at her shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whatever anybody's
Bring
interested
it.
in that day, all of Nicole's stuff, we'll have body wrap stuff, we have Reiki stuff, mediumship, whatever. Anybody has any questions, you let us know.
And I want to talk to you more about
Gemma.
Gemma. Well, after the show, because I
Okay.
would love to. The only skull that I came close to owning was the Dan Aykroyd vodka. And it's not the same properties as yours.
Dear.
No, but it is
So-
filtered through Herkimer Diamonds.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, you do know Dan Aykroyd's a big paranormal buff
Yes.
as well.
His
Yeah.
father
Not
was
this
a
is
big.
paranormal, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
His father was very much into all of that as well.
I learned that while doing an
Mhm.
investigation in a brownstone a few years back.
So I do
They
have
had it, and I
skulls.
was like, "Oh, that's so neat." And then they started telling me, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." Yeah. Sorry.
I do have skulls, and for a limited time until they all go, I do still have skulls that are infused with the energies of the whole 12-12-12 Crystal Skull event, conference, and also have sat with the ancient ones that were on that as well. So the ones that I had that I put up on Facebook went very quickly,
gone.
but I lost time, so I wasn't able to put the rest up, but I still have.
Do you have pictures
few.
of them on your phone, maybe, that I can look at so nobody else can see them?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm kidding.
But if you tell me what you want,
Okay.
I can know what to look for and send you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, again, thank you, Nicole Lahousse, for joining us.
Thank you, Tiff.
And hopefully you'll be back on.
Yeah.
And I will be keeping you guys informed for when I make it down there to do the Formostar. I said that right?
Yes.
Formostar.
Yes.
But if you guys want to get in touch with Nicole, what's your easiest form of communication?
You can contact me through email at majik@majikllc.com. The Majik is spelled M-A-J-I-K. Or on Facebook at facebook.com/majikllc.
Excellent. And
Yes.
thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you.
on the show. And girls, have fun in Tampa. Don't worry, Steph
Thank you.
promised that she will make the flight back home, so she will be here
I'll
next
be here.
week.
Otherwise, it's Tiffany Rice with Tiffany Rice.
Right, and that could be scary.
Dangerous.
Me
It'll be
trying
like
to
the
operate
first-
the chat room.
First
the phone.
episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eh.
I'll be here.
All right,
No worries.
guys. Well, thank you very much. And for you guys at home, have a good night. Stay warm. I know we're getting snow tomorrow or slush. Probably here in Wareham, you'll get slush. But
no snow.
Be careful on those roads, and we will see you next week. Have a good night.
Good night.